Hey guys, and welcome back to the first FM23 Transfer Guide with me, Raxo FM, where today we are going over 3 signings and 3 sales for Manchester United, a side that of course have just been taken over by Ten Haag and have not been doing insanely well in recent years, finishing second place a couple of years back, but 6th place last year. I reckon that we can take this team all the way to the top of the Premier League though, with a couple of decent signings and a couple of decent sales. Of course, we have Cristiano Ronaldo, but if you want to know what life would be like without him, please click the iCard up above and watch my FM23 Manchester United beta save, where we have sold Ronaldo, and we are going to be trying to take this club all the way to the top. But of course, right now we're focusing on what we can do with just 3 signings and 3 sales for this transfer guide on Football Manager 2023. It is still the beta, but I'm sure these expectations will still be the same. They want us to work within the wage budget, sign players to sell for a profit, which basically just means sign players for cheap, grow the club's reputation. Players under 23 can't have certain contracts, same for all of those other ones. But yeah, they just want us to finish in a Europa League spot and do all right in the Europa League. So there's not massively high expectations. In the future, they do want you to start pushing for the Premier League. But right now, the pressure is off. We just need to do okay. And with a financial display of £20 million, I feel like we can do a wee bit with it. 100% of the transfer revenue is brought back into that budget. So let's go out. Let's sell some players, let's add to that tally, and let's improve this team. The first player that we're selling is Tom Heaton, a player that Man United just don't need at the moment. But before we go over why we're selling him, I just remembered I forgot to say, please like this video if you are excited for the content in FM23, and subscribe so you don't miss any more Raxo FM content now that that reminder is out of the way. He's not a bad player. He's 36 years of age, and he's not being paid that much. But after coming in on a free last year, not playing any games, we now have quite a few more players to play that position. Actually, I have to go to squad planner now to take a look at the options instead of squad depth like I used to. But as you can see, he's our 3rd choice goalkeeper. And if we actually go into our squad, we can see that 2 decent goalkeepers, Dean Henderson being the better of the 2 by miles, and Kovar out on loan. We don't need him for the future. We don't need him for now. I think we're going to be all good if we sell Tom Heaton, get some wage bills back in, and get a little bit of money. In this save, the man has stayed in England and gone to Leicester City for just £650,000. But of course, the wage bill is more what we're looking at. And it is a pretty good signing for Leicester, considering their current starting goalkeeper is Ward. And now they have Tom Heaton to fill that gap. So a win-win both ways, bit of money. Let's sell another player. The next player going is a much younger player. That is slightly controversial, but with only 2-star current ability and 3-star maximum potential ability, this £10 million valued player is sort of a no-brainer to be sold to me. He is nowhere near as good as the likes of Elanga or our starting players like Anthony, but if we actually compare him to Elanga, we can see he's just not on the same level. Pellistri, he's not going to come into the squad at any point in time, and realistically, he's only going to go down in value, so we may as well cash in while he's worth a lot, while we need some money, and while, to be honest, most of our players that we are actually wanting to sell, you know, the likes of the Freds of the world, the Phil Jones, those kind of players, aren't getting any interest. Let's cash in on a youngster and get some serious dough for him. In this save, again, he stayed in the Premier League, gone to Arsenal for £10 million. I feel like that is such a good deal for us, and not a terrible deal for Arsenal. I mean, they're getting a youngster for less than what he's worth, but realistically, he's not going to turn into a world beater. He's not going to turn into even a rotation option for us. He's an average player. He's worth a lot of money. Sell him now. Get 10 mil. And the last sale is, to be honest, a player I didn't really want to get rid of, but it is Scott McTominay. I think a lot of United fans may be happy about this. A lot of United fans will be very disappointed. But the reason why I didn't really want to get rid of him is if you go to the central midfield spot, you can see, although he's down in the list, we've got Fred, whose contract is expiring at the end of the year. We've also got in the centre-back position, Jones, we've got Lindelof, Maguire, all players that could have been sold. But unfortunately, for the first season of the save, Scott McTominay is the only one that gets any bids so we're going to have to get rid of him. He has drawn the short straw. I'm not too phased about getting rid of him, though. He's not quite the United standard, and when we're trying to bring in new players, we wouldn't be looking for someone of his ability. So cashing on him now is not the worst thing ever. However, if you can get rid of Phil Jones instead, I would highly recommend doing that. In the save, he's gone to Real Madrid, because, you know, he's been linked with them so much in real life, for £10 million. So not a terrible fee for him, but realistically, he scored on his debut. Realistically, it's not the best deal we could have gotten, but it is the money that we need. If we want to make some big signings to start this save off, I think we can reinvest that into a better player. Just unfortunate we couldn't get any more than him. And in the spirit of transparency, before we go over what players we're signing with that money, I have also sold another player. And look, normally I wouldn't ever do that, but I did kind of not think I'd be able to get Scott McTominay or any of the other players sold, so I just sold Bernard. But yeah, I kind of wish I didn't do that, but it's only 250k, it doesn't really count. So you're getting a bonus sale, realistically, you know, like it's extra content, boys and girls. Let's go over who we're going to be bringing in with our 20 million, 10 million, 10 million, like an extra one. That's £51 million. £51 million. What does this team need? After best 11 picking this United team, this is what we're dealing with. And it is a very good squad, it has to be said. Personally, I would certainly bring in Lautaro Martinez instead of Maguire. But if we actually go into the squad depth screen, the squad planner, gosh, this is a good way to look at things. We can actually identify the gaps. The goalkeeper is actually a position I think that needs to be improved. But with Dean Henderson coming back at the end of the season, I think you can afford to put this one off for just a minute. So goalkeeper with Dubravka, De Gea and Bishop, you'll be okay for now. Right back, you got 3 great options. No problems there. Centre back, you have plenty of options. Maybe one more quality player to go next to Varane. But Martinez has potential, even though it doesn't have it here. And I think you'll be okay for the time being. At left back again, you've got a lot of options. You'll be absolutely fine. In midfield, you've got Casemiro and Eriksen. And realistically, those are the only 2 options you really have. Of course, Bruno can come down into that position. Donny van der Beek should actually really be in that position too. I'm not sure why he's not coming up. But you need a bit more quality. So for my opinion, a central midfielder is a position that you should be getting. On the other side, obviously, it's the same equation. Right wingers is a bit of an issue because Sancho is much more preferred on the left-hand side, in my opinion, based off the way Football Manager plays, unless you want him as a winger. And on that left-hand side, he is the best of our options, excluding Marcus Rashford, but he's probably potentially more of a striker. So a right winger, I think, is an option that we really need to have. Cam, you're okay with a bunch of different options, but one as a backup wouldn't be too bad. Left wing, you're probably okay with Martial, Rashford, and Sancho. And striker, again, you're probably okay with CR7, Rashford, Antony, and Martial all being able to do a job there. So for me, it's a central midfielder, it's a right winger, and I don't know, potentially a Cam in there somewhere. Who knows? Let's see what we can get from the market. Let's sign 3 players. The first player I've bought in is the man on the thumbnail, or potentially it could be the next player. I don't know, but it is Otavio, a central midfielder, a Cam, a right winger, everything that we needed, and he does it all beautifully. Look at those stats. Perfect for a box-to-box, perfect for a winger, perfect for an inside forward. Whatever you need, this man can do. And I think for just £30 million, potentially rising to 39, this man is a bargain. Coming in from Porto, across the board, he's got what you need. Ideally, a little bit younger, but 27 years of age is still significantly, 3 years younger than both Eriksen and Casemiro, as they're both aging. Still in the prime of his career, got the ability. I think this man is a brilliant pickup, and I think you've got to get him for your Ronaldo save. Your United save, and of course, I have actually picked him up in mine. By the way, all these transfers, I think, apart from the McTominay one, I have done in my beta save. So if you want to see how they go, click that icon that I put up above earlier. Let's see who else we signed though. The next one is a wonder kid, and it's a very good one. Danilo. I've never heard of him before, but for £12 million, I'm not going to complain. Could potentially rise to 18 again, but he's got that bags of ability that we need to play in CDM or CM right now. He's got amazing stats across the board. Very few oranges in there. The rest of them yellows or greens. Left-footed. bit versatile, being able to play in cam, central midfield, or CDM. Only 21 years of age, plenty of potential, 5-star potential ability. I hadn't even talked about that yet. Comes in on a very cheap amount of money, and he is going to be that midfielder that we need for the future. You've got Otavio, who's the prime player right now, and you've got Danilo, who's going to lock down that position when all of your older players, Casemiro, Eriksen, and I guess Otavio and Bruno, can get on, and he's going to start there for years for you. And the final signing, easily the best bargain of this year's Football Manager, Thomas Lemar. Now you're looking at him right now thinking, not bad, 26 years of age, 32 to 35 million pounds. What have you paid for him, Rex? So, boys and girls, I paid 4.6 million pounds for him. I don't know how, I don't know why. None of it's on installments. This man is the cheapest player you can pick up. He's a model citizen as well, so he's going to improve. He's got absolute bags of ability with so many greens all over the place, as well as a versatility to play in central midfield, right wing, cam, left wing, and even left back if you really need him to do a job. I love this player. I'm probably going to make an entire video about this player. I think you've got to be picking him up. So after all of those transfers, if we go into our best 11, pick it without restrictions. It doesn't put any of our players, but if we move them into midfield, does it put Otavio, please? Oh no, Otavio's already in there. There we go. I would say the way I would play, and the way I'm planning on playing in my beta save, is Otavio in the midfield, dropping Eriksen, bringing Antony on because he's got some serious bags of ability. Martinez in there at centre back, and then having Lemar and Danilo as some of your options off the bench, being rotation players for now. But I think you've now got a decent amount of squad depth, a decent squad, and a tiny bit of money to play around with in the January transfer window. So if you are happy with the things I've done, the 3 signings and 3 sales, please make sure you do smash the like button and let me know down in the comment section below, 1, who you've brought in with your United save, and 2, who you want me to do a 3 signings and 3 sales for next. If you have enjoyed it, again, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the Rex FM YouTube channel so you don't miss the beta save and more transfer guides here and there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.